when we finished our college. That was the first batch of Goa University. And of course, there were no directions at that time. What could you do or what you could venture out. So it was luckily enough that when we finished our college exams, that too for graduation, we saw an ad on the newspaper which says Government of India looking out for guides. And at that time, the guiding fees were prescribed. It was like 800 rupees a day and 1000 rupees a full day. So which attracted me to go and fill a form, which we did with the Government of India, where tourism was just getting birth in India or in Goa per se. And of course, we went with a very intensive course, which basic criteria was a graduate, and I didn't have my results in my hand. So I remember this Mashanda Romani, who used to be the regional director for tourism, and she was kind enough to enroll me into the course without finishing the graduation. And we did a course, it was 6 months with theory, and then we have to do practicals where we were taken to Hampi, we were taken to Old Goa. And I have to say that I am one of the lucky guys to open up and go and see the Old Goa tunnels, go and see the Rashol Seminary tunnels. Then we went to Hampi, where Hampi was just one temple at that time. Excavations were going on, and today you have the whole full of Hampi, which you can see. And we did the guiding course. We had to answer an exam. We got through. And of course, the charters started coming in. Condos were coming out earlier before that. And we had a charter called Inspiration, then called Hayes and Jarvis. That was the English market. And we were the only trained guide who were like officially guide, which were trained to go and talk to people and explain to people. And it revolves around it because I think I loved Goa. I loved history as a subject in my school. And Goa was always the forte for me. So in '89, we realized there was nothing happening for tourism in Goa. It was only people could go to see Old Goa, one excursion. Second excursion was Mapsa market. And third one was flea market. So this were like 3 standard tours where Europeans were sold to go and see. And in '89, we had a friend, a colleague of ours called Brendan Pace. And we decided that we need to do something else for the tourists. So we went and ventured out into a tour, which we used to call at that time called Jungle Salad. And today everybody is calling it as Spice Plantation. So this was a concept where the whole idea was to showcase the European what is the life of Goa, what Goa is all about. So we used to take people to Savoy Valley, into a Saraswat family house, and into their Kudagar, which is today called the farm or the spice farms. And we used to allow people to have lunch on a banana leaf without a cutlery. The kids from the village would come and sing, the kids from the village would serve them a drink. Everybody would drink what they want to drink. At the end of the day, we will collect the bill together and divide it according to the number of people which are there for lunch. And it was a great tour. People were showing how to make brooms. People were shown how to make bidis, which we used to all smoke, jackfruit bidis and kudia bidis. People were shown how to take water from the wells, how to water the plantation with hands. So this was the whole idea which came up in. Similar at that time, one more guy came up. Sorry.
So on the way you started Goa Green.
Yes, I mean after that, after 3-4 years down the line, I thought this was happening in the north of Goa. So the tourism was more in the north. So I thought we need to do something in the south. So I ventured out myself and I coined a company which is today called Goa Green Tours and Travels. Our logo is a frog which is in the Western Ghats and which is an endangered species, which is a green frog. If people know it, then you can see how the mating has been done. That's the reason I have used that as a logo to protect the frog. And we ventured out and I ventured out and started a travel company called Goa Green Tours and Travel, which is an inbound travel company. At the same time, now we do Dubai and other places. But we are very strong into doing excursions in Goa, which you cannot find on a regular guide's book. So if somebody comes to Goa, and if he's coming for the first time, we wouldn't happy to show him Goa. So we will show Goa to people who come to Goa for 3-4 times. And what we show to Goans are not the coastal belt, to the hinterland and the village life of Goa. So we ventured out into a tour called Discover Goa. which takes people to the villages of Goa, like potteries and coir rope factories, Fenian distilleries, bread making and rubber plantations, Kap Dharam forts, Betul villages, things like that. Then we also ventured out a tour. Today we call them as crab catching, where we take people and show them how the crabs have been caught in the river. Of course, we put the crabs back if they are not big enough to eat, and if they are only big enough to eat, then people can bring them and they can eat it. Then we started a trip called Heritage Trail, where we take people to show local markets in Margaon. We take people on a local train. We do a rickshaw ride. We do lunches, themed dinners in Portuguese houses. Then we started cooking classes, and cooking classes are basically done with a stone grinders and into firewood cooking, not these Sarah Toad or high profile cooking classes. Then we ventured out into deep sea fishing tours. Fishing tours where people can go on the fishing line and take the fishing line and do fishing tours. So various tours which we are doing today. We even do trekking trips to the waterfalls, not to Dudhsagar waterfall, because Goa today is known only for Dudhsagar waterfall, but we do tours to Netravali waterfalls which are there, and there are so many waterfalls which you can go and do it, and that's how today Goa Green is a company which people doesn't know much, but every charter company which operates in Goa works with Goa Green. So we have designed, we have executed the tours, and the tours have been sold by the charters as their product, as their branding. But everything right from the client out of the hotel till they get back to the hotel, it has been managed, designed, executed by Goa Green Tours and Travels.
Said you love Goa, and there is a lot of activities in you, and you have been one who was in the forefront of opposing golf course in Kanangi long many years ago. Do you think some of the local trades like pottery, dyeing is slow that and pains you?
Of course, it pains a lot, because it's not only that slow that, but it has been dying very fast. See, today the question lies is that if somebody comes to Goa, or somebody goes to Portugal, let me put it the other way around. You come from Portugal and you bring these shape of a rooster and you keep it in your showcase, and somebody looks at it and say, oh, you've been to Portugal. So it links you to Portugal. Let's consider that you come to Goa and you go back to your country. What will you take from Goa? What is that which says to you, this is from Goa or this is Goa? There's nothing. Because the government have never thought about it. Like for example, we had very good potters. Nobody have marketed the potters. That's the reason why the potters are dying today. And I have to say, in the entire South Goa, today there's not even a single potter who does pottery. Two guys which I supported for the last 6-7 years by taking people to show them how pottery is made by hands on the potter's wheel. Today they have been at 70 and 80 and their children don't want to do it because they say there is no money into this pottery. As a reason, it has been dying. Number two, today we used to be distilling one of the best fenies in the world, like Kaju feni and the coconut feni, which is pure in the purest form. Just taken from the trees, distill it, you make vinegar. But how many people know about it? Today there are no potters, there are no distillers, there are no toddy tappers. Toddy tappers are finished, toddy tappers are over because nobody wants to climb the tree and nobody wants to distill feni. So gradually in times to come, it will be difficult for us even to find feni. It will be difficult for us even to find a pottery. Even today, if the Hindu dies, you need to have a pot where you have to carry it around their art to do the last kriya. I'm telling you, years to come, we will have to be looking on it to get export or import them from other states into Goa. I used to take people and show them how you make oyster shell lime powder, how you paint your walls and how the churches were painted. In Shishini, there were two of these units. Both have been closed because the father used to do it, son have never carried on doing it, and today the younger generation will have to watch it on a Discovery Channel, which was one of our cultures, but we never even protected it. It pains me a lot because 2 years back I organized a trip for the parents of our children who go to school. Along with the parents, we took the kids on this particular trip of ours. And believe me, there were mothers which were 45, 50 years old, and they came back and told me in the evening, Charlie, This is the first time in my life I've seen a potter. Now, I'm talking about a pure Goans who've been born, brought up, lived for 45 years, have not seen a pottery. Lived 45 years, not seen how oyster shell paint is being made, which we call it as chuno. People have not seen how the coir rope been converted into doormats and ropes and carpets. Now, these are the things what Goa have to revive if we want to think about our culture, if we want to look into our heritage. Well, activism, as you asked me, I mean, if the activists were not there today, I think Goa would have become a concrete jungle. Yes, though I am into tourism, I have opposed golf course, which was try and bought and imposed onto Kanangini and Kabuderam villages way back in 80s by Leela Kempinski. And I still believe till today, that Goa does not need a golf course for the tourists to come in. If you look at the tourism industry today, everybody has been crying there are lesser tourists. Now I am saying 25 years, 28 years we are into tourism. The tourism has scaled up and it has hit the pyramid and we are falling down. Now if 28 years if tourists have come into Goa, my question to every Goan today is, what have Goa given back to the tourists? What have we given back to the tourists who have come into Goa? Like for example, let's consider that Benaulim is a big destination for tourism. Somebody from Maria Hall, if he wants to walk to the Benaulim beach, there's not even a footpath. So how do you expect people to come to Goa every time? You go to Kolva, the parking place has not increased. You go to Kalangut, the parking place has not been increased. But we are into tourism. We have built more hotels. We have got more people coming in. We got more Indians coming in. But we have not given them any facilities. Tomorrow, if I want to go to Benaulim on the beach for a swim, and if I finish my swimming and I want to sit in my car and go back home, I don't even have a tap where I can clean my feet of sand. So, but we are thinking that tourists are not coming into Goa, tourists are not here. But why will they come? What is that I have given to them? Forget about the government. I'm asking to each and every shack owners, each and every establishment which runs and which lives and which makes his economy runs on to the tourists. I mean, for example, if you look at it, a guy who sells sugarcane juice today, he charges 10 rupees a glass of sugarcane for the locals. But when a tourist goes and drinks it, he charges him 50 rupees. Now, today's world, the tourist is not a mad guy. If a local is paying for a glass of 10 rupees and the same tourist is standing there and also drinking a glass of juice, and if you are asking him for 50 rupees, he understands. He knows that you are cheating. He knows it. And how long can you cheat somebody? I mean, you can cheat him maybe once, you can cheat him two, you can't cheat him more than 3 and 4 times. So those people who are coming to Goa, by understanding this, realizes that why the locals are paying less and why should I pay more. Like for example, you go to see the Taj Mahal. Indians have to pay 250 rupees, a foreigner has to pay 750 rupees. Now I am reverting back to the other side. Let's say if I go tomorrow to Portugal, do I pay more? I don't. If I go to France, as an Indian, as a tourist, do I pay more? I don't pay more, I pay the same price. So why there's such a big difference between a European or a foreigner who comes to India and an Indian who's going to the same monument? So I don't know what is the whole idea about this. And these are a few things which I think Goa need to look at it. Goa need to revamp. Goa need to look at the markets which Goa used to have earlier. Goa needs to do serious thinking and say, yes, pal, we need to get tourists. And which tourists we need to have? A high spending tourist, a tourist who will come and spend a good dollar. And if he's going to spend a good dollar, what am I offering him? Tomorrow if I go on a holiday, I will also look into it. Something with the luxuries, I know that I have to pay a better price. But if it's not a luxury and if I have been charged that, I get fed up and I will never go to that hotel. So same thing. Also one thing where the Indians or the Goans have to think is that when a European come on a holiday, he does save for the whole year to come on a holiday. It's just not that because they are white and it's a money tree. And this is a wrong thinking of ourselves, that we have to take this thinking out of our mind, that a tourist who comes to Goa does not just come to Goa because he has money. He also goes with his life.
The kids from
and
the
he
village
has to
would come and sing. The kids from the village would serve them a drink. Everybody would drink what they want to drink. At the end of the day, we will collect the bill together and divide it according to the number of people which are there for lunch. And it was a great tour. People were showing how to make brooms. People were shown how to make bidis, which we used to all smoke, jackfruit bidis and kudia bidis. People were shown how to take water from the wells, how to water the plantation with hands. So this was the whole idea which came up in. Similar at that time, one more
Yeah, so I
idea
think one should look into a tourist as that
Goa Green.
he saves,
Yes, I mean after that
he makes a lot of
after
sacrifice,
3-4 years down the
and then he
line,
saves
I
that
thought
money, and then
this
he
was
comes on a
happening in the
holiday.
north of Goa. So the tourism was more
Because
there.
he also
So I
has to
thought we
work
need
in
to do
Europe
something in the
or
south.
wherever he comes to.
So I ventured out myself.
And when he comes to Goa, we need to respect him. The question today is that we look at, not we, I mean not the Goans, but most of the Indians when they come here, they look at a female as a piece of meat. I mean, these are the things which should go away from our mind. We should respect them, and you will earn respect. Lots of time I have seen today people pass comments, and everybody thinks whoever comes to Goa is a Russian, which is a very big no. People talk to a German in Russian language. People talk to an English in Russian language. The taxi drivers talk to somebody who's passing down their side, and if they want to ask him if he needs a taxi, the guy will just call up and say, in Russian, you will ask him for a taxi, and which people don't like it. It's the same way. I mean, today being a Goan, if somebody comes and talks to me in Kannada, I hate it. Or if somebody comes and asks me something in Hindi, I do also hate it. So the same way the hatred is also with other people, which we need to understand. Number 3 is that if somebody is walking on the street today as a tourist where there is no footpath, as I said to you, for walking footpaths, people drive their cars behind and hoot and horn and make long faces and put their fingers out. Now why should you do this? Now a pedestrian has to be given a time or place to walk, and if there is no place to walk, you should respect him and make him to walk if we want our tourism to grow. Number 3 is, biggest thing what people have to look at is the garbage. We have a biggest issue of garbage as far as tourism is concerned. Most people blame the tourist for garbage, but my question is the other way around. If a tourist is coming to Goa, he is paying
firewood cooking, not Sara toad or
he's paying his.
Then we ventured out into deep sea fishing tours. Fishing tours where people can go on the fishing line and take the fishing line and do fishing tours. So various tours which.
So the biggest problem is the garbage issue,
trekking trips to the
and everybody
waterfalls.
thinks the
Not
tourist
to
is making a garbage into Goa. But my question to people who thinks that a tourist are making garbage, why should a tourist not make garbage? He's paying for us. He's buying a drink which is not free. He pays for the place where he stays. He eats the food which he pays. So my job is to make sure that I reduce and reuse. Or my job is to make sure that the garbage is not litter, not the tourist job. So tomorrow if I go to Bombay, I will also litter and come back, and I will proudly say, oh, I paid for it. So don't blame the tourist, blame each Goans who are part of it and who doesn't know how to do it. Number 3 is that we all need to abide by the law of the land. We all need to abide by the law of the state. None of us are doing that. If we are allowed to make 10 beds on the beach, we put 20. If we are told the shack is only should be around 50 meters by 50 meters, I try to build by 100 meters. So if we all go by the laws, I think tourism will flourish. But today the problem is people hate things which they have seen over a period of time. And Goa has a lot of repeaters which are coming, mind you. So the repeaters knows exactly what happens to Goa. Number 3 is that we have encouraged a lot of tourists to go and do shopping only to branded shops. I wouldn't name it, I wouldn't call them as Kashmiri shops, I wouldn't call them as malls. But let me go back and say, how many of us have ever told the people to go into the local bar, which me or us goes and sits and drink every day and go back home and have our dinner? Have you ever taken a tourist there? No. And if no, why? Now, these are the reasons where people should understand why tourism is not flourishing. If I can go in those bars and eat and drink and it's hygienic, I'm sure it's also hygienic for everybody. But the question comes is the taxi driver wouldn't take them there because he doesn't get a cut. The taxi driver will take them to maybe a big restaurant because he's getting a cut. But he wouldn't take them to a local restaurant which is authentic food, which has been cooked very well,
Number
Like
two,
similar things when my
today
wife,
we used to be
when we
discovering
got
one of
married,
the
I
best
had these issues about
feelings in the
going
world,
and having
like
fish
cajun
curry
feeling
rice
and
on
the
a
coconut
shack.
chili, which is pure
Now
in the
today you tell
purest
me,
form. Just taken from the
every
fish
shack
distilled.
which has been
You
serving
make vinegar.
fish curry
But how
rice,
many people
who cooks
know
it?
about Today there are no
What was the
potters.
concept
There
of
are
shacks?
No
It
distillers,
was the
there are no
concept
toddy
that the
tappers.
family will
Toddy
cook and
tappers are
serve.
finished, toddy tappers are
But
over
today,
because nobody want to climb
every
the tree
shack
and
you have to
nobody
eat
want
fish curry
distill
rice,
feeling.
which
So
has been cooked
gradually,
by
in
Nepali
times to come,
or
it will be
or a
difficult
guy
for
which is
everyone to
outside the
find
state
food.
who's a
It
cook.
will be
So
difficult
he
for
even
everybody
doesn't
to
know
find
how
a
to
pot
cook
food.
it, but you
Even
serve it
today,
as a
if the
Goan
Hindu dies,
fish
you
curry
need
rice.
to
Why?
have a pot where you
So
have to
these are the
carry it
things
around
which we
their
have to
heart
change.
do the
They are
last
very
prayer.
small.
I'm telling
Second
you,
thing is
years
like
to
if you
come,
go
will
on
have to be
on the
looking
beach
it
shack,
to get
I think everybody
export
serves
or
everything.
import
You
them
have
from other
Contis,
states
you have
into Goa.
Chinese, you got Goans,
I
you
used
got
to take
Indian.
people and show
There's
them
no place which says
how you
I am
make
only a Goan
oyster
restaurant.
shell
And I don't know
lime
why our
powder,
Goans are scared
how
to
you
do that.
paint your walls.
Is it because they believe that you have to have a cuisine restaurant?
Both have been
Or is
because
my
the
food
father
not
used
good
to do
enough?
it,
Or
son
am I
have
not
never
good
carried on
enough?
doing
Or
it.
am I not
And
going to
today,
get client?
The younger
Like today,
generation
if you
will
look
have
at
to
the
watch it on a Discovery Channel.
look at the menu card
Which
of
was one of our cultures,
any
but we
given
never
restaurants or any
implemented it.
given shacks,
It pains
what do
me
you
a lot
get
because-
as a Goan
Because
thing
2
on the
years
menu
back,
card? You
I
might get
organized a trip
fish curry
for
rice,
the parents
Reshad mackerel,
of the-
pamphlets,
of our children
maybe
who
by
go
and
to
large
school.
pulao
Along with the
rice,
parents, we took the
shaguti,
kids on this particular trip.
Vindaloo,
with us. And believe
and
me,
maybe
there were
sorpatel,
mothers
and
which were
maybe
45, 50 years old, and they came back and told
Ambotic.
me, Charlie,
Is that what Goan cuisine is all about? No, but you have
I'm
lots
talking
of
about
things.
a
But
pure
how will somebody serve it
Goans who've
when
been
you have a
breed,
cook who's
born,
coming from Nepal?
brought up, lived for 45 years, have not
Now,
seen a pot.
that's the reason why
Lived
I
45
ventured
years,
out, and
not
when I
seen
had a
how
small
oyster
place which
shell
I used to
paint-
run as a
paint is
language
being made,
school,
which we call it as
I started
tuna.
a concept
People have
called
not seen how
barbecue
the wire
nights.
rope been converted
And a lot of
into
friends told me, no,
doormats
it will not
and
succeed because
ropes
nobody will
and
come for
carpets.
barbecue nights.
Now, these are the
And my
things
day
what
of
Goa
barbecue
has
was
to
also Friday,
revive.
which was
If we
not a
think
weekend,
about
but
our
and
culture,
not a starting of the
people
week.
look into our health.
And I took it as a challenge, and I told everybody is doing the food.
Activism,
Why should
as
I
you
go
asked
and
me,
do the same
I mean,
food?
if the activists were not there,
Luckily,
today, I think
after
Goa
3
would have
months,
become a corporate hub.
we were not a beachfront
Yes,
restaurant. We were
though I
indoor
am
in
into
Benaulim,
tourism,
which was
I have
next to
opposed
the underground. I used to run a
golf
restaurant.
course, which was try and
After 3
bought
months,
and
I have to send
imposed
people
onto-
back home if they have
onto
not
Kaningini
booked a
and
table.
Kabudaram villages way back in
And that's
80s
how
by
today
Leela
Charlie's
Kempinski.
barbecue and steak
And I
is
still
known
believe
around
today
South Goa.
that Goa does not
We
need
do a
a
lot
golf
of
course for the
pop-up
tourists to
bazaars.
come.
We always
If
sold
you look
out.
at
We
the
do
tourism
chops.
industry
We do
today,
barbecue
it has
food.
been- everybody is
And the reason
trying
what
their
I did
best
barbecue
tourist.
food was because nobody was doing
Now, I
barbecue
am
food. Everybody
saying
is doing the same food.
25
And today it's great.
years,
People have been
28
calling for us
years
for
behind
weddings.
the tourism.
We've been
The
doing
tourism
parties.
has
We've been doing
scaled up
private
and it has
parties.
hit the pyramid.
We are doing
It's
housewarming
falling down.
parties, and we are doing a
Now,
lot of
28
pop-ups.
years-
So Charlie's barbecue is known in the south. So one has to think out of the box. If you want to be successful, you have to think out of the box, and you have to realize the pulses of what people are looking for. And I think you can do it. You can get more tourists coming to Goa, and Goa can be still a destination. Ani ki jahan question?